All right, to my friends, I'm gonna do a new video, and it's on Omarlsuf, Broski. I haven't done a video on this guy in a bit. I figured I just went to check it out, and guess who's there? An hour ago. The expert on hypertrophy, Mike Israetel, Dr. Mike Israetel, none other than himself, the man, and Omarlsuf. The most effective way to gain muscle. I've seen Omar before in the street once, walking in the city. I know the gym that he goes to. Anyways, yeah, let's review this video. He's going to tell you the most effective way to gain muscle. All right.
What's cracking, guys? Omarlsuf here, back with another video, back with Dr. Mike Israetel. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Another day, we've been just slamming out the content. Your YouTube channel, Mike, people should be subscribed. If they're not, you put out excellent information. If your goal is only to get bigger,
yes, his information is so excellent. Yes, if your goal is to get bigger, oh, just get bigger. If I use a penis pump and it gets bigger, is it real or is it swelling? What is it?
Said the following, okay? The RP method, so the Renaissance periodization method, can be simplified as use good technique, of course, and try to get stronger for repetitions over time.
Try to get stronger for repetitions over time. So really what you're getting there is an adaptation in androgen receptor strength. For that force production, that's what your body's giving you. It is giving you, it's compensating you with these androgen receptors. Now they can widen, they can get bigger or smaller, you can get more of them, where the androgens bind, giving you that maximum force production. That's like a woman, a car falls on her kid, she has to lift the car, what happens? She's stressed, and bam, she gets an influx of these hormones, and then adrenaline, or adrenaline hormone, and then she's able to lift the car. See what I mean? But it's temporary. And these androgen receptors and this strength and everything too is temporary, because if you go away, within 10 days it starts going away. You start losing that force production. Okay, so that's that strength. And then there's this other type of strength where you get ultra structurally stronger your muscles and your bone. But it only ever happens once. When you first start to come into the gym, it kind of calibrates itself, gets stronger, then it's resilient now from that anymore, getting these ultra-structural type of, things going on, mechanisms in the body.
That complexities exist, but fundamentals are rarely complex. I loved it. But why did you phrase it that way? So, use good technique, we got it. But for hypertrophy, try to get stronger for repetition.
Hypertrophy just means something is getting bigger. Your lifts can hypertrophy, they're getting bigger, because you can equate that as, well, I'm doing hypertrophy work. What do you mean hypertrophy exactly? My lifts got bigger, my muscles got bigger. How did your muscles get bigger? How did they get stronger? Is that a type of hypertrophy? Yes, if you get more androgen receptors, that's a type of hypertrophy because you got more of them. So that domain has furthered. That doesn't mean that you can't visually see it because they're microscopic and they're attached to the muscle fiber, but you know that you've got more of them because your force production goes up, because a human being doesn't have that much force. They have to practice at it to get it. Okay. So, and what if you get water in your muscles? They hypertrophy. Visually, you can see it. Yes, that's hypertrophy. What about lactic acid? What about fluid? What about blood restriction? What about inflammation? What about sarcoplasmic, like energy, glycogen in there? What about myofibrillar? What about fiber splitting? What about hyperplasia? All these things, there's some real stuff and a lot of fake stuff in there. See what I mean? So, the concept when you're talking about hypertrophy, it has many meanings, bro. If I smash my arm with a hammer and it bruises up, does it hypertrophy? Yes. You see what I mean? It hypertrophies.
Over time. What's that all about?
There are a few things going on. Maybe about three, maybe a few more.
Sure.
So the first one is the technique part.
Yep.
It's easy to lift more weight over time if you let your technique get sloppy, and then you're just number chasing. But if we look at
I just have no idea why these people are trying to throw heavy weight up or why they're trying to lift heavier. You see what I mean? People are just impatient because you can't build muscle at the same time. Here's the problem. You don't know how to build muscle and move with the weight and the muscle in the same direction. You're just moving the weight and the body's not moving at all anymore. Why? So muscle has reached a myonuclear domain size limit, where the progenitor can no longer donate any extra nuclei to that domain to support any more further growth. That's all. There's no more nuclei. They synthesize protein. You don't get any more? that domain is stuck, bro. You're just burning proteins and rebuilding them. But like I said, when you read about androgen receptor strength, it tells you myocytic androgen receptor controls the strength, but not the mass of the limb muscles. What controls the mass of the limb muscles? See what I mean? What controls that? Molecular domain size limit. That's one control, hypertrophy. It controls that mass. Protein, the what do you call it? The nuclei, whatever is going on there. It's all part of hypertrophy. So hypertrophy controls that mass. But it controls the mass. But it's all different. The training for each of these hypertrophies are all different. The strength training, lifting a heavy weight, myocytic androgen receptor training. Training for mass, it could be fluidic, it could be sarcoplasmic, or it could be myofibrillar. It's all relative. I can't really tell you. I don't know what you're training for. It could be chronic inflammatory response, maybe lactic acid, fake muscles, or taking fake supplements and putting water in your muscles, hypertrophying them. So I can't tell you. Every training is totally different for each one. That's why people say, I got a stronger, but I never got a bigger. Or I got a bigger, but I never got a stronger. See what I mean? You may have gotten a bigger sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, but you never got a stronger. Or I got myofibrillar growth, I got a little bit bigger, and then I got a stronger. See what I mean? Or I got a stronger, and I didn't get bigger. Because androgen receptor strength. It's an adaptation. These adaptations all happen differently. They don't happen. They're different training for each adaptation.
Hypertrophy technique from the lens of what is it for? It is to stimulate the target muscle as much as possible and cause as little joint and connective tissue stress and systemic fatigue as possible. That's how we designed what it means to have good technique. And as long
fatigue and technique and all this, you need proper technique to build a muscle. You don't need technique to build a muscle, because you could just lift anything and create artificial muscles called sarcoplasmic or inflammatory or blood flow restriction muscles, whatever, man. Any of these fakey muscles, bro. Get it?
we are constantly refining or constantly sticking to good technique, we don't have to worry about our strength for reps efforts taking us down clusterfuck alley where all of a sudden we're like half repping and we're like, yeah man, that's PR. Because lifters will do that. They'll get the 180s out and be like, touch the 180s for the first time. Like, you mean like physically you put your hand on it and touched it? Like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, they would love to do that. People would love to do that. They're all weak. Human beings are weak. They're the weakest, one of the weakest animals on the planet.
Which is why if I just put getting stronger for reps and I left it at that.
Because compared to lions and, these buffalo and elk and everything, we're small. We're small animals. They're big animals. And the bigger the animal, they're always going to be stronger than us. That's all. Because they were built that way in nature. Yeah.
It's a true statement by itself, but a lot of folks might misunderstand and not have the context of the technique first. The second thing is the stronger.
Think about it. A gorilla, which is not as tall as a human being, because they have short leg limbs, if you call it that. But they're still on the scale. They're tall enough and they're pretty big, and they can bench press 4,000 without practicing, and they have the strength of 20 men. So think about that. Compare yourself to a gorilla and a man. How strong is a man? Extremely weak. How strong is a gorilla? 20 times that of a man. How much can the average man bench when he goes into the gym? Maybe if he's lucky the first time, 100 pounds. You understand me? Yeah. How much can a gorilla bench when he first comes in the gym? 4,000 pounds. So what does that tell you exactly? What does that tell you?
For reps and why that's important. There are at least two ways in which that is important. One is the idea that if what you are doing is working, which means your muscles are hypertrophying, they're growing.
Yeah, if they're hypertrophying, they're growing. But it depends on your training, what you're trying to do. But anyways, to further that domain, I'm talking about real muscle, to grow real muscle mass. Again, you need a donation of these nuclei, and that's progenitor. It's beyond where it can donate any extra nuclei to that domain to support any further muscle growth. So it moves into a secondary shift called sarcoplasmic training, and you're coming chronically anyways to the gym, so there.
The muscles expand in a cross-sectional area, which is what hypertrophy is.
It just means something is getting bigger, but what is expanding there? Does he even tell you? The enlargement of an organ or tissue from the increase in size of its cells. Well, what if the cells don't grow, and the water in there causes it to grow. Separate. See what I mean? What if it's just glycogen, this energy source, and not through proteins? Yeah.
Be some evidence of it occurring in one of the very robust ways that which
The evidence is you're looking to see it physically because it's microscopic. So you're looking to see it physically protrude. That will take quite a few months the first time trying to really build some real muscle. It takes quite a while. And even these fake muscles, they start coming out even faster, the sarcoplasmic fluid. But the real ones, it takes a while to see that growth because it goes from microscopic to seeing it bigger without a microscope.
we know hypertrophy has occurred is if repetition strength has gone up. If your 1 rep...
What? If repetition goes up, the strength or something, the hypertrophy goes up? Not necessarily. If you're not eating enough glycogen, it won't load in the muscle. Remember, protein synthesis needs to see this breakdown for it to grow. And there's also window for breakdown and protein synthesis, but also glycogen too is breaking down. And it too needs to be restored. Glycogen synthesis. Yeah. But since you're eating more of that than protein and it reaches a myonuclear domain size when it comes to that part, it takes on a life of its own called sarcoplasmic through glycogen loading. Yeah, it's an energy source. So you're an endurance athlete now. You're doing endurance lifting is what you're doing. And you're doing endurance lifting, loading this glycogen in the muscle, and you're just repetitively lifting like a factory worker lifting boxes all day. That's all you're doing. You're like a physical worker in a physical job. That's it. Lifting. That's what they're getting to. Yeah. And you say, well, these construction workers, they look big. They got big muscles and everything. It's all the glycogen they're eating. They drink beer and glycogen and everything. Loads in the muscles. Boom. They look massive. Yeah. That's all, really.
X went up. Definitely it's possible that you've gotten size, but oftentimes you can just work on the neural characteristics of musculature, on technical characteristics, on architectural characteristics, and then you muscle didn't get bigger, but you got stronger. That's how come powerlifters are so much.
See? My muscles didn't get bigger, but I got a stronger. I didn't get it bigger, but I got a stronger. How could you get stronger if you didn't get bigger? Well, I got stronger because I got better at lifting. I weighed. I got better, but I never got bigger. Did I get stronger? Or did my lifts get stronger? Is that weight stronger than me? Or am I stronger than the weight when it falls on top of me and cracks the shit out of my ribs and kills me?
Stronger than bodybuilders, even when they're the same size. Mm-hmm. So
again, bodybuilders, the reason why they look so big is because of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Shit, bro.
Strength for reps particularly, there's just no way getting around it if you get stronger for reps over time. Yes, neural factors, architectural factors can help.
If you get stronger doing reps over time, I don't know what's stronger, physically or just lifting. What are you talking about?
But especially if you're training for hypertrophy and you've gotten stronger, it's probably not because of strength adaptations, but probably because the muscle is larger. There are definitely ways in which you can get...
You got stronger because the muscle got larger? You don't get stronger from sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It doesn't make you structurally stronger. You understand me? But it will give you energy, and that could help pulling a weight. You understand me? That kind. Does that mean you're stronger? No, not really.
Stronger that the muscle doesn't get bigger, that if you're training for hypertrophy and you're getting stronger for reps over time, that's generally a really good corroborative sign. So that's one element. But another element is something that a lot of people don't say too often. And anytime you are trying to hit a good workout, you have a couple of things to contend with. And one of them is your relative effort. How hard are you trying in the gym? And you can tell yourself all sorts of stories and be quite delusional about your relative effort, especially over time. So even if you say you're training to failure means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It's really just when did you decide to quit? And you might be even...
Why do you need to go to failure to punish yourself because you must hate yourself? This is the gym slave mentality. This guy is a gym slave, lifting slave, bro. This is crazy.
Feel like it's a hard set, you quit, and
I want to completely destroy and diminish my body, yes.
Whatever. And if you never look at the logbook and you never strive purposefully in a feed-forward pattern for more, you might
he's aging, man. His face is getting really old from all this lifting.
Get very strong over time, and over many months of training, you could actually just be like trying a little less hard each time on average. And then it turns out you didn't make a whole lot of progress. That is the purpose of those forward-looking progressions. So yes, on the macro scale, strength should automatically come up, and it's not something you have to worry about. If it doesn't come up, you...
What kind of strength? My physical strength so I can beat people at arm wrestling, or lifting strength like Larry Wheels? What are you talking about exactly?
Might have to start worrying a little bit. But in the micro scale, literally microcycle to microcycle to microcycle,
See, on the mic, this is why I try to tell people, the micro scale. You can build muscle, you can build some stuff there, microscopic, on the microscopic scale. You can't see it physically. You can't see it like these androgen receptors. You can't see them. That's why people fool you. They take a steroid, they inject it. You can't see these molecules, but they connect with the androgen receptor, giving them the maximum force production, bro. Get it?
To week, you should be endeavoring to hit little mini PRs so that you know that you have 99 problems, but training progressively hard is not one of them. And deluding yourself into thinking you're making a progression when you're not is definitely not one of them. If you experience a ton of happiness in a relationship, if you've got a great situation, just the...
Yes, I just want to go to the gym so I can get better at lifting boxes all day, like a factory worker. That's my whole ambition, to go there, and I want to get strong at lifting these things. So I can keep coming back, recovering and coming back and lifting them again. I recover, I eat, I go home, and then I come back and I lift them again off the floor. Yeah, bro. Cool.
Beauty of the relationship is something that over the years you're like, we just have it good. But that doesn't mean you don't make any proactive steps in like thinking, what would my husband or wife like? Maybe I could plan a date for them they'd really like. Maybe I could buy them a massage. Maybe I could give them a cool gift for a birthday. Buy it now is the hypertrophy app through.
No thanks.
Constant every lift, every fucking time. Intermediates might only be able to go 3 weeks and only sometimes at 5 pounds, but sometimes at nothing.
So these are deloads. This isn't detraining. This is a deload. He's deloading. Loading and unloading. You get a gravitational loading and unloading. You get it, man? You load and then you unload.
Sometimes at a rep, sometimes at nothing. And then advanced people might only be able to go 4 weeks of additions of reps and or load. And during contest prep, just hold the fort and just match the repetitions from last time. And so you get this like improvement curve that from beginner to intermediate advanced looks like this. But the formula at every stage is add a rep, add a little bit of weight, and see how long you can keep going. And mostly the thing that differentiates the levels of advancement is how many consistent weeks of progress can you make until you fail to make a PR and your fatigue is so high that you actually get weaker the next week. Then it's time to deload. So the deload frequency is the thing that determines most of the difference. And every time you deload, what you do is you go back to a weight, you do it for as many reps as gets you to about 3 reps in reserve-ish. You start from there, and the next week you go up and up and up and up and up, just like that.
The final question then, Mike, the variability we see in people that just focus upon hypertrophy when it comes to their strength outcomes, the numbers you're lifting, you should see a clear increase over time.
Totally.
Yeah.
And everyone's different.
Yep.
Some people are very large and not as strong as you would expect. Some people are very strong and not as large as you would expect. Like you look at, we actually had this for a thumbnail in a video a little while back. Dr. Deadlift, Taylor Wong.
Yep.
He is way stronger than Jay Cutler in his prime.
Yep.
Jay Cutler in his prime is a fucking refrigerator. And you'd be like, who's stronger? Everyone would be like, Jay. You'd be like, wrong. Kaler is. You'd be like, sorry, what? And then Kaler pulls 900 for 3, and you're like, that's not an amount people should be able to lift. You'd be like, hey, Jay, do you want to pull 900? You'd be like, I'm sorry, what? Half of that, sure. And you're like, how? Well, it's almost exclusively genetics and training style. If we equated the training style, Kaler would still be stronger than Jay. He would be bigger. And if Jay trained for powerlifting, he would no doubt be much stronger, but not as strong as Kaler. There's just differences there genetically.
Yep.
So what's important for most of us to do, you just have to compare yourself to earlier versions of yourself and try to PR against those. But, there's a big but there. Huge but. Just, you're just seeing it, you're like, oh my shit. And that but is, I would only recommend such progressions and comparisons to occur in the mesocycle scale and no bigger. Because like you say, well, I used to bench row 225 for reps 3 years ago. I should be able to bench row 245 for reps now. But is that really true? Maybe your technique is a lot better. One of the things that Jared and I do on the...
No, because you've lost these androgen receptors. That's why some people complain. I go, oh, yesterday I came in and I lifted 500. Today I could barely do 250. See what I mean? That's what happens because your training is geared towards androgen receptor strength training to get these androgen receptors widen, get more of them so the molecule has somewhere to bind and giving you that maximum force production. Yeah, bro.
Channel, we bring on pros to train with us every Monday. We have a video comes out as a training video. We take a lot of times pros, just IFE pros or competitive power.
These guys pros? Doesn't look like a pro to me. It looks like another influencer. Fakey.
And we sharpen up their technique in one session so much that they opposite of PR. If you come on our channel, you're almost certainly lifting way lighter than.
It's crazy to go to a gym and accelerate your aging and destroy yourself, stress the shit out of yourself. Lifting for no other reason, your goal is to get like water muscles, to maintain these crazy water muscles because, I don't know, for whatever reason, cosmetically, and you want to maintain like lifting something, so you want to go there and keep lifting this weight because you want to maintain the ability to lift those weights, those man-made weights in a gym, nowhere else but in a gym. That makes absolutely no sense. I don't know anybody in labor jobs or factory jobs or whatever that love lifting heavy stuff. If they can avoid it, they run away from it right away. They don't want to lift anything heavy, bro. Want to know why? Because it's instinctual, that they know it will destroy them and age them and fuck them up. Because human instincts tells them that. Even when you put certain things in your mouth, your instincts tell you you're poisoning yourself, but you keep doing it because you're addicted. Your addictions are much more higher than what you can control there. Yeah, there's a handful of people go to gyms. The majority of the population, they don't go to the gym, bro, because they still have their intact instincts. Their human instincts are still intact. They're still from nature. Humans are of nature. You know what I mean? They haven't totally become totally artificial yet, you know? So yeah, instinctually it tells them, don't do this. It's bad for you. It's pain, it's stress, they don't like it. Not even to run. Humans don't even like to run. That's why they walk. Or they'd be running everywhere in every direction. Do you understand me? That's why they have to ride in cars. They don't want to run to their destinations because they don't like running. It's stressful.
But we fuck you up harder than you've ever been fucked up because of that technique.
And they hate physical labor jobs. That's why they all want to do office jobs. They want to do easy jobs, get easy money. Everybody wants to go to the real world, the real world, so they could go and do any easy and I want to sell a package on Amazon drop shipping so I can make money so I don't have to work physically. See what I mean? Yeah.
Improvement. Technique in hypertrophy training challenges the muscle so much.
Look at this guy. He's like squeezing his mouth, his breath, pushing this way. It's getting crazy.
Then it doesn't allow you to show off your.
I can understand if you were to come, periodically once in a while, you want to go to a gym for fun. Like swimming. It's not something you do every day. You're not going to the pool every day to swim. Why? Because I wanna be good at swimming. I have to stay good at it. So I have to go there and swim every day. You don't. Once you've learned how to swim, you don't have to practice at swimming anymore. You understand me? Or playing baseball or any sport because you're good at it. You've practiced. It's memory in your head. You know how to play these sports. But lifting, that's different, right? Is that it? Because it's much more physically demanding. Like a labor job. See what I mean, man? You have to keep coming there and practicing at it. Why? Because it'll go away. But what if you build real muscle? Will it go away? No, it won't. That's why you got these newbie gains. And that strength will always be there with you until, of course, I don't know, you destroy it or something. But after the newbie gains, you never get any more gains because it reached a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process. Bingo, bro. Now you're just turning over protein, whatever, glycogen loading, making phony muscles, doing high volume training, pump training, this, that. It's a bunch of gravitational loading, unloading. That's why everybody's doing all these weird things. Got to take these tablets, supplements, build a muscle. Got to do this, do that. All these fake things to build fake muscles.
Strength as much. It isolates the muscle. It puts it into a mechanical disadvantage. So the amount of weight you're lifting is.
Yeah, sure.
I live in a psychiatric home.
Okay, this is what this is. They let me in to interview
Aren't
you.
the orderlies the sweetest people?
They even operate in the link will be down below. If you like the video, make sure to like the damn video, and I'll see all you guys. Concrete Gray.
Yeah, so I'll see you in the next one. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. The most effective way to gain muscle. Well, if you want to do it fakely, then you're going to have to do it fakely. Now, if you want to do it real, it's going to be very hard. It'll only happen once. It won't ever happen again. You're wasting your time because you reached the domain size limit. But so yeah, the best way to create these fake muscles, well, yeah, you gotta gear your training towards that. See you in the next one. Ciao, man.